we put the source or the reference in our presentation, and our presentation says that we lifted from the partial final determination. No, initial is the earlier one, but we lifted from the partial final determination. And then also, at the same time, Transco conducts its monitoring based on the submitted TPSR, or that's the Transmission Project Status Report of NGCP. And we have comparison as well with the ETC, or the estimated time of completion, based on the approvals of ERC, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I will answer that. We have already submitted with the ERC our answers, our explanations to all of these issues on delayed projects. I would like to, well, there is a principle which we call the principle of sub judice, that anything that is the subject of a litigation cannot be discussed openly. Well, anyway, we have already submitted that with the ERC. Mr. Chairman, as a follow-up to what the Honorable Congressman Rufus Rodriguez mentioned earlier, as the regulated entity, I would like to raise concern also about the proceedings that we're having now, with all due respect, because under the IPIRA, particularly Section 38, it is clearly provided that there is hereby created an independent, and again, I'd like to repeat that, an independent energy regulatory commission, a quasi-judicial body. As of now, this is the first time that I've been hearing internal discussions of ERC from the chairman herself. I believe that these things are matters which are now being deliberated upon by the ERC. What is the objective of the hearing? Is it intended to influence the ERC? Mr. Chairman, as the regulated entity, I am very, very much alarmed. Because if that is the case, we might just as well abolish ERC. Just a point of clarification, a statement that I would like to make as the regulated entity.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Opinion
Mr. Chairman,
is,
I think
well,
I still have time, Mr. Chairman.
The opinion is respected, but we will have to understand that this is the oversight function of the committee, considering that you are a franchisee, and ERC is even the creation of Congress. So if there's any problem with ERC, then their department should be studied also.
I understand.
So thank you very much. So let's be clear. Yes, Chairman Dimolanta.
Yes, Mr. Chair, just for the record, because there were certain statements attributed as if I made them, but there were no internal discussions that I have discussed. All that I have discussed were contained in the published drafts posted by the ERC precisely for public consultation. So I just wanted to put that on record, Mr. Chair.
No, Mr.
So
Chairman.
you're saying that everything that's been discussed here has been publicly posted?
Yes,
For
Mr.
because
Chair.
because of the consultations, public
Process,
consultations
yes.
that you have to do.
As a matter
there's
of fact, Mr.
secret
Chairman.
As far as this, the Honorable.
Mr. Chairman,
Well, before-
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I listened to the discussions during the last hearing. There were discussions about 3-2 votes on as spent, as commissioned. I think I didn't find that in the.
It's published, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
that is published,
Mr. Chairman.
Attorney
All the information.
Sagayo. So
All
that
the
is also
information, Mr. Chairman.
everything that's
Thank you.
discussed here has been published, and they will attest to that. Please furnish NGCP a copy. This is still the time.
Thank you.
I would
I'm sorry.
suggest that the questions has to be asked by Presti De Jesus. Okay, if you have any questions, please course it to him, and he will ask the questions. Attorney, Congressman
Thank you.
Presti,
You still have time. I think I had
you still
10 more
have,
questions.
A couple of one more question. Please proceed.
I would like to know how many minutes I have. 1.5. Oh, 1.5. So I'm allowed
minutes.
10 more questions, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
1.5
To
minutes.
Transco. So how many pending right-of-way? May mga cases pa kayong pending sa inyo na right-of-way?
Mr. Chair, yes, that's correct.
So,
Pero these are for the right-of-way cases being handled by Transco pertain to assets that are already operating and operating at the time that we transferred the concession to NGCP.
As far as the NGCP, yung panahon nyo, nung kayo pa nagpapatakbo ng transmission line natin, meron pa rin hanggang yun pending.
Ongoing, Mr. Chair.
So how many years is that?
Some even go beyond the existence of Transco because these are NPC-related projects.
Yeah, even though
Mr.
it
Chair.
is still a government entities, either
Yes,
Transco,
Mr. Chair.
NPC, same banana. My
That's
question
correct.
is, how took it so, bakit masyado matagal? What took it so long na hanggang ngayon pending pa rin? If you being a government entity, hindi nyo nagagawa kagad in time, how much more ang private o ang concessionaire nyo, NGCP? Gobyerno na tayo kayo
Mr. Chair, at the time, these were projects of the government then, and they were building really the power or the network, the grid. This was way back 70s, 80s. Currently, I will not be able to have any say on what happened before, but it's actually when the concession was with NGCP was prepared or the bid was set out, the right-of-way portion was really left for the government to settle. So NGCP started fresh with their own projects, with their own right-of-way management, Mr. Chair.
So how many cases pending pa ngayon?
In terms of pending cases, right now, Mr. Chair, I don't have the number, but we can submit. But if there are no claims for Transco to settle these, we are not able to do this for all the entire Philippines because these are all done projects. We need the lengthy process here is in fact the validation, whether the piece of lot is really part of a transmission project before, and also the valuation that will go into that in the settlement of that lot, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Honorable President Jesus, last question.
okay, so before the last question, Mr. Chair, siguro I would like to make a manifestation here, no? So there's a motu proprio here about NGCP, but at the end of the day, whatever the results of this motu proprio, kung di rin natin mapababa ang presyo ng kuryente, useless din po yung ginagawa natin. So kailangan meron tayong gawin na bumaba ang presyo ng kuryente.
Okay.
Marami nanonood
Please
ngayon.
ask your question.
Yeah, before
Your
I
question.
ask that question.
You have to ask your question. The time
Okay.
is running.
Again, you're still relevant, Transco? Kung wala na rin, you have no control over NGCP. Ano pang relevant ng Transco?
Mr. Chair, this is just I cannot speak for or if there's no Transco, then there will be no say the regular monitoring of the operations of NGCP, because while you have the ERC, the regulator, they don't have the manpower or the setup to really dig deep into the operations or the goings on in NGCP, Mr. Chair. So yes, Transco is relevant, and especially in the planning aspect as well. We are the government should have a hand in the planning aspect, whether that's transmission, generation, the whole power industry. If the planning aspect is left only to private, then the government side or the objectives of the government may not be directly met, or there may be misalignments in terms of priorities, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, so I'll go for the second round.
Thank you very much. The chair now, thank you very much, the Honorable President Jesus. We now go to the third interpreter from the 2nd District of Marikina, the Honorable Stella Kimbo.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Before I begin with my questions, I'd like to remind